Go to Wrigley Field, sit in the bleachers for like 35 cents to go to a ball game. What do you think, J-Mo, is the average price, taking in the highs and the lows, average ticket price for a family of four to go to a ball game, get a beer for the pop and the mom, sodas for the kids, hot dog, parking? Those five things.
I'm a cheater because I saw this story, but it's around like $200, right?
$204.76. So I swear to you, now I'm going back to the early 60s, but you could go, and I'd love to look this up, but I promise you I could have gone to Wrigley Field and gotten all those things done, minus the parking, for $1. There's no question in my mind I could have done that. Not the beer either, because I was too young. But getting a hot dog, a program so you could keep score, that was like a nickel.
They don't even give
maybe
out
a
programs
dime.
anymore in most places, which is a shame.
They
It's all
don't?
like digital. Like scan your phone on the QR code and get a digital program.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Huh.
People don't do it with, people don't write down on the scorebooks anymore. I love, maybe I'm old school, but I love doing that at a baseball game.
Oh, yeah. I kept score almost all the games. I loved it. But I could have done that for $1. The highest two ballparks are the two oldest ballparks. Boston is the most expensive, $324.37 for a family of four to go, get a ticket, get a beer, get a hot dog, get a Coke for the kids, and parking. $324. Wrigley Field, $312.85. Those are the most expensive. Least expensive, Miami, the second cheapest at $136.08. That's almost a bargain, right?
Certainly compared to the other teams.
And then Arizona, which actually Miami and Arizona both have nice ballparks. It's hot, though. $126.34.
Both indoors, too, though. So air-conditioned facilities and open and close the roofs.
Yeah, so you're talking about $30 to go to a ball game in Arizona or Miami per person for all that. And in Chicago, it's a lot more money, and in Boston, it's a lot more money. But $204 on average, that is expensive. Not as expensive, probably, as the Super Bowl ring. Did you see the Super Bowl ring that the Los Angeles Rams just got?
I haven't.
It is the heaviest championship ring in the history of all team sports rings. I promise you. Listen to this. It's got 20 carats of white diamonds. 20 carats. That's crazy. These rings must be worth, $50,000, $100,000. I don't know. The white diamonds are on white and yellow gold. There's blue and yellow sapphires. Those are the team colors. That says LA. You can open up the ring, and on the inside you see it looks like you've opened up the roof on SoFi. And I think there's actually a piece, like a miniature piece of the turf of SoFi on the inside.
They always have to one-up the year before. I believe that last year, it's the first one I can remember, though, where it opened up like you're saying. So, of course, they did that, but then we had to one-up Tampa Bay by, we're going to put a little bit of turf from the field on there.
I've seen the Tampa one, because TJ Reeves got one. He showed me. Now, I don't think he had the real ring, but they did give him a ring with some gems. Some were not like the others. If you can, look to see what the worth of that is. See it anywhere?
Doesn't say it has all the figures you're saying. Let me click on one of these stories, see if it has
I would love to know what the value of all those diamonds, because there's 20 carats worth. Heaviest of any championship ring. Speaking of big money, how about two things that struck me. Yesterday, Kirby Smart gets a 10-year extension, which is worth $10.25 million a year. How about that? $10.25 million on average for the next 10 years.
Unbelievable money for an extension.
Winning a national title pays off.
Coming one day, and I know this is a tired conversation too, and it doesn't mean that he might not be right in some respects, but coming one day after he kind of downplayed the fact that college players should receive a monthly stipend of however much money he makes, what was like $900,000 a month now. After not, let's say players shouldn't make $10,000 a month or whatever the figure was.
Is
he
that
said.
right? Yeah.
One day after that.
Wow. Pretty hypocritical, that is for
I
sure.
would think so.
I don't think. Let's phrase it like this: do you believe there is any more pressure on Kirby because now he's making $10.25 million? I think the pressure of George is always there anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to keep winning because Mark Richt, he could win, but he couldn't get to the promised land. Couldn't beat Nick Saban. This guy does, and now he's getting $10.25 million. But you've got to win more than 8 or 9 games a year if you're a Georgia coach. That's just the way it is.
The money might actually be reflective of the additional pressure he has now after winning a championship. Because now he, like you said, if he doesn't repeat at some point again, he's going to get fired.
Well, I would look at it this way. I'm assuming that $10.25 million is guaranteed. So that's 110 point whatever million. So really, if I'm him, and I think he's got enough of a competitive spirit, and I think Georgia knows this, that he's going to work his tail off. But if I'm him, I know my legacy is set. I've won a national title, right? How many national titles has Georgia won? He's got a national title. And he's guaranteed $110 million. He staked his family's wealth for generations.
Georgia claims 3 national championships.
Right.
He has 1.
Right. One of the 3. He's set. He's a made man, as they would say in mob parlance. So, good for him. He's going to make it. This may be the best thing of all.
I have a value of that diamond, by the way.
Oh, what is it?
It's not of the ring, but I looked up how much would a 20-carat diamond be worth. It would be worth over $2.5 million.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Per ring?
I don't know if that's the cost of the ring, but according to a quick Google search here, it values the price of a 20-carat diamond around $2.5 million. But that doesn't mean it's all the small diamonds together. That's one 20-carat diamond.
No.
That's as close as I can get.
Okay. I don't think each ring is $2.5 million. I promise you that's not the case. But speaking of big money, so you remember 2018, Kyler Murray had a choice. He could have been a quarterback in the NFL, which he was, or he could have been the number 1 player in the Major League Baseball draft, taken by the Oakland A's. Yesterday, he signed a 5-year, $230.5 million extension with the Arizona Cardinals. If you do the math, 5 years, $230.5, his average is $46.1 million a year. 46.1. Do you know, had he stayed with the A's, do you know what the entire A's payroll is?
45,000?
It's
or 45 million, I mean?
48.5 million. It's just barely $2 million more than the entire salary he's going to make.
It would cause a lot of strife in the locker room with those salaries going around.
My gosh. So, the deal is he chose correctly because he never would have made that kind of money in baseball, not with Oakland. And he's going to make this. And this was 2018. We're talking 4 years ago. Look at the elevation. He never would have done that in Major League Baseball. Maybe in the end he could have become a free agent after playing a couple of years in the minors where you're making $14,000. Well, you would have gotten a signing bonus. He would have gotten several $1 million signing bonus, but nothing like this. This is incredible.
It really is incredible. And it made me think of the quarterbacks that maybe consider themselves better than Kyler Murray or on par with him. It's great for the market for them for their next contracts as well.
It is crazy. While we're speaking of money, this is a fabulous story, which I will get to in a minute. I got to tell everybody we're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios. You can vacation at home. That's the beauty of family leisure. They've always got sales. Everybody, because of COVID, we're getting more and more cases. Look at the poor president yesterday got it. But they are encouraging you to make your home your vacation place this summer. And we're right in the middle of it now, and they're still giving you play gyms and trampolines an opportunity to buy them for $500 off. If you would like a hot tub, they got a bunch in stock. They're gorgeous, this new technology they have with them. And if you pick it up yourself, you'll get $500, $1,000 off on a hot tub. If you're really a do-it-yourselfer and you want a pool, you can save $1,500 on any in-stock pool at I-40 and Whidden Road just by going, picking it up, and installing the pool yourself. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer, this is the best deal around. Patio furniture, still plenty of the newest stuff in stock. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road. And I am so proud that we are presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. They take care of their people at Homer Skelton Hyundai. They get a lot of repeat business. Part of it is the crew that is there, and the crew led by Chris True has a philosophy. They'll never charge you more than sticker price on a new car. If you look at reports, a lot of dealerships taking advantage of the laws of supply and demand are going well over sticker price and saying it's a good deal. Well, that doesn't happen at Homer. All you got to do is get to I-40, to 78 Lamar in Memphis, and the very first exit, Mississippi Craft Road, you will have arrived at a place where they take care of you. Homer Skelton Hyundai. This is a great story involving money. Not a great story, period, really. I should preface that. But I don't know if you've heard this. Bo Jackson, the great all-pro in the NFL, all-star in the Major League Baseball. And I was listening, Greg and Eli were doing, their favorite players from the SEC. And I think Bo and Herschel were on every list. I mean, for me, there's 4 no-brainers. Herschel, Bo, Reggie White on the defensive side, Joe Namath as a quarterback, and I would probably go with Archie because this was your favorite, and I've gotten to know Archie Manning just a little bit. And, a lot of his buddies have become my buddies. And he was a great player. There's no question. So I'd put him in there. But Bo was on every list. Bo, you anonymously, at least on the front end, helped with another friend to pay for all of the 19 children and the 2 teachers' funerals that were killed in the Uvalde, Texas elementary school massacre. He said he felt a connection with Uvalde because he's got a buddy who's got a ranch that's down the road. And where he lives, he drives through Uvalde. And he said Main Street is really cool. He just liked the whole feeling of the town and the square and all that other stuff. So even though he didn't really know anybody there, he just felt this sort of connection. And, he's a granddad now. He's got kids and he's got a grandchild and children passing. And he just felt with one other friend who does remain anonymous at this point, he felt he needed to take some burden off of those people that they shouldn't have to worry about something like that. So he and this friend paid for all the funerals. What a story. Bo has always been a guy that did things that you couldn't believe. When he was a Memphis Chick for a short period of time, I'll never forget when George Lapidus signed him. I mean, he hit some balls. J-Mo, I don't know if you are old enough. Did you ever watch the Chicks play at Tim McCarver Stadium?
No, I was a Redbirds child.
You're a Redbirds guy. So it was at the old fairgrounds. You can still see where the ballpark was from the press box at Liberty Bowl, or now Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. And I don't know what the exact distance would be, but he hit one shot over the left field light standard that they say got to Central Avenue. Now, I don't know. I did watch a couple of just gargantuan homers that he hit. He just brought excitement. He did things that were above and beyond. This story is one of those two that he adds to his legend. I mean, how many guys were all-stars in both the MLB and the NFL?
He and Dion, right? That would be the only two I could think of. Was Dion even an all-star?
There was another guy who played for the Cardinals that might have been an all-star in both. Certainly played in both.
Ernie Vick?
No. This guy was an outfielder. I can't remember. Anybody knows, text us on the AutoZone text line, 901-360-8255. Switching away from money stories, how about content stories? So they actually counted the amount of words that were used in opening statements by head coaches at SEC Media Days. Who do you think, James, have you seen this?
I haven't.
Okay. Who do you think had the wordiest opening statement at SEC Media Days? I'll give you a hint. He also said the most outlandish things.
Oh, it would be, Clark Lee, isn't that the name of the Vanderbilt coach?
Yes, sir, who said they're going to be the best program in the country.
Clark Lee sounds like a general from the Civil War era.
I love the guy. I mean, if you don't believe, who's going to believe, right? So I give him credit for that. He actually spoke 2,340 words, like 13 minutes straight. Shane Beamer, second, 2,185 words. Then Kirby yesterday at 1,004, or 2 days ago, 1,438. Pittman, 1,379. Just below that, Nick Saban, 1,339. You know who spoke the least amount?
It would be Mike Leach.
It would be Mike Leach. You know how many words?
7, right?
Exactly. Which must have been something like, now let's just ask for opening questions.
It was, thank you, Commissioner, any questions or something like that.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I was sitting there trying to think about that. But he was right. You know what his reasoning was?
They're going to ask the same questions again.
Exactly. So why have him repeat it? Just open it up. And the guy's so funny, who cares?
Exactly.
He's going to play off your question. I love that he did that.
He was great. The two Mississippi coaches were the most interesting for me to listen to. Truthful. I mean, it's not to say other people didn't say interesting things, but they're just great personalities, just so much charisma on stage. I appreciated their talks.
And then there's Brian Harsin, who, by the way, just so you know, 886 words to start. But he was asked a question about the difficulties that he had a little bit earlier. Some people thought it was a palace coup. Here's what he said.
There was an inquiry. It was uncomfortable. It was unfounded. And it presented an opportunity for people to, personally attack me, my family, and also our program. And it didn't work.
Didn't work. But it didn't work for now. That would be what I would say. I don't think, and I should have asked Stats this, and by the way, Stats and Gabe, I believe, on their way back to Memphis, will be in studio here tonight, and I'm sure they will have all the stories to tell about their time in Atlanta for the SEC Media Days. But the guy with the hottest seat, it has to be Brian Harsin, doesn't it? I mean, Clark Lee is safe for another year. Shane Beamer just got there. We saw Kirby Smart got an extension for 10 years. Sam Pittman, he's the toast of the state in Arkansas, and he's great. Nick Saban is Nick Saban, right? Mark Stoops, the only reason Mark Stoops would leave is because somebody would hire him. Eli Drinkwitz, he's got a little bit of a hot seat. Josh Heupel's well on his way to being good. Billy Napier just got there. Jimbo Fisher beat Alabama last year. Lane Kiffin, they just want to keep him forever. Brian Kelly got there. Mike Leach, if he were to lose to Memphis, he just got a 2-year extension, but if he were to lose to Memphis again and it didn't work out well, there might be a little hot seat. There's no question. Brian Harsin has the hottest seat.
If for no other reason, because of what he just mentioned, is that there's an entire group of boosters that don't want him there at all. And even if you win a few games, that puts you on the hot seat.
Here's the sad thing, I think, for Brian Harsin, and really for the Auburn program, is that they never seem to all be on the same page. Those boosters,
even when they
who
fire
have a lot of control, He never got a chance. I'm not saying Brian Harson's going to get the job done or not going to get the job done. We'll see. He's going to have to win. But in my estimation, there's never any kind of uniformity within that program. And that kills him. If you don't have guys all on the same page who believe, you're dead in the water. At least Clark Lee is saying, because he believes it. Give him a chance. But Harsin has in my estimation, hottest seat of all.
Was the two-sport athlete Brian Jordan?
Yes, it was. Was he an All-Star?
I can't see if he's an all. Yeah, he was in 1999.
So he was an All-Star in Major League Baseball. Probably not an All-Star in football.
Yeah, I don't see a Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
here.
so Deion and Bo are probably the only two that did it in both sports. Man, Bo was absolutely terrific. The last thing, Charles Barkley met with Greg Norman.
Really? So those reports were
there-
true. There was smoke.
So here is what Charles Barkley said. He said, I have to ponder all this. He goes, I'd love to do both, which, you think about it. You're talking about there may be 14 events. Maybe he doesn't have to do all of them. Even if he did 14, the live events are past the NBA, right? But he said as soon as he talked to Norman and the word got out, he got phone calls from Subway, from Capital One, and from Dick's Sporting Goods. And I don't think those were positive phone calls. So if indeed Barkley decided to leave TNT to go do the live, Lord knows how much money they would dump on him. I don't know what they're paying Faraday. Love to know that too. But if they did, he would probably lose those sponsorships. So how much money is Capital One, Subway, and Dick's Sporting Goods paying him? Is it enough? I mean, he's making what do you think he's making from TNT? A lot of money. I can't imagine he would give up TNT and the notoriety that he gets with being on TNT and the sport he really knows, and 3 major sponsors that have already given him negative feedback to go to golf? That's stupid.
He makes about $10 million a year from Turner.
Okay. And
By it, so no telling how much more that he makes from all his endorsement deals.
Right. Let's just say, let's double. Let's say he gets $20 million a year. You're going to leave to do something you really don't know much about, except your personality. I mean, he's not Brandel Chambly. He's not David Faraday. He's compelling TV. He's one of those guys that has a license to say anything he wants to. I appreciate that. And I like him. I once interviewed him for an hour down in Tunica for a John Calipari fundraising event. He was delightful. Loved him. Nice to my wife. But and I don't want him to leave TNT because I think that makes that chemistry with Kenny Smith and Ernie Johnson and throw in Shaq. It's fun. It really is. To go, they don't even have a TV deal yet. No, they're probably going to get one. Sooner or later, they'll buy their way on somewhere. But at this point, they're on YouTube. He's crazy. And he'd lose those sponsorships? That'd be nuts. That'd be nuts. And TNT might go, look, all these people are mad at you. We don't want to lose those sponsorships. So I doubt Barkley makes that move. But time will tell. We got lots to talk about. Our friend Jason Munz is going to join us here in a couple of minutes. Andy Schiffman on the NBA coming your way. Just a reminder, it is Friday. That means it's time to stock up. Where's the best place to go and stock up? That would be go see my friend Eddie Connor at the Spirit Shop. Eddie's place is conveniently located right in the heart of East Memphis, 4848 Poplar Avenue. That's Poplar and St. Nick. It's the little log cabin right down from Clark Tower. You've passed it by a million times. You probably thought, wow, little place. No, go inside and you'll see all the inventory, all the product. He's a spatial engineer. He gets so much in there, and it's full of everything from very rare bourbon to up-and-coming wines to tequila that could be valuable or middle ground. There could be gin in there that you've never tried before. Here's the other part with Eddie. You get an education. I go in there, I ask him questions all the time. I've seen other people do it too. You'll learn about spirits. If you're looking for accessories, he's got that. You're looking for a special rub for the rim of your glass, he's got it. You're looking for chips, you're looking for the local IPAs. By the way, he's got Poppy's Pills from Grind City Brewing. He's got it all. That's the Spirit Shop at Poplar and St. Nick. And if you're thinking about golf this weekend, and I called today because they get filled up even in the seat. We're talking Miramichi. The Bubba Conley just held at Miramichi. The winners in the girls were from Japan and China. They come from all over the world to see Miramichi. What a great golf course Miramichi is. I like to brag it's 330 acres of natural beauty, 7,400 yards of championship-level golf. I played it about 62, 63. You can play it at 5,500. Any way you want it, you'll be challenged, and you'll love the surroundings, especially the back nine is so gorgeous. And at the end of the round, when it cools off a little bit, there's the terrace with the best view in all of Shelby County, I promise. Miramichi, 12 minutes from downtown on 51 in Woodstock. You'll love everything about Miramichi. We pause for a second. When we come back, what's up with the U of M basketball program? The beat writer for the Commercial Appeal is Jason Munz, and he's right around the corner.
You have opinions?
Yes.
Of course you do. Everyone does. Hit us up on the AutoZone listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255.
There are so many ways to buy and sell houses these days. How do you choose? Well, of course, choose the right way with Chet Whitsitt. Chet has over 37 years of experience as both a broker and a sales agent. He's helped lots of people buy and sell homes, and he will help you. It's the right way, and it's that easy. Buying, selling, or referrals, check with Chet at 901-484-5689 and Cry Like Realtors at 901-756-8900. Buying or selling? Check with Chet Whitsitt.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We've all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, that's not possible. There are aerial pictures that can be taken every 4 years that can be used to measure most buildings, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one looking at pictures that could be 4 years old. If you'd rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, give us a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best service we know how to give. Fiveash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I believe it's going to be over 100 degrees in today, tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. 4 of the next 5 days, over 100 degrees. I hope your air conditioning is keeping up. If it isn't, ladies and gentlemen, please call 384-3511. That's Conway. And Conway will take care of you. I've done it. I have no problems this year because twice a year I get the tune-up. That is a 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up. They absolutely go inside your unit in your home, and they dial everything perfectly. It's all in harmony. Then they go outside, and they clean all the dirt and the grime and the leaves out of your outside unit or units. And then in the summer, they'll check your Freon. Make sure that it is good. Refill any of it, all for $69. And here's what happens. First of all, your house is cool. It stays cool. Secondly, your MLGW bill goes down because you're efficient. Thirdly, your system lasts longer because it stays efficient. 384-3511. Do yourself a favor and call Conway Services today. Jason Munz joins us now. Looks to me like Alo is leaving. He's going to go play professionally. I think that is the word, although I've not seen any kind of release officially on that. And no official word yet on Larry Brown. So my man, the guru, what's happening? Where are they all going?
How's it going, Dave?
Good.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I mean, like, this has kind of been the direction that it's been moving all off season. You know, I mean, like, it's really not a huge shock to anybody that Alex Lomax. I mean, he's been entertaining this. Like, this has been the track that he's been on all summer, I guess, or all off season, I should say. I mean, like, for heaven's sakes, he walked on senior day. So I don't think it should come as any surprise. I mean, like, you know, again, I was told last week by several people that it would be more of a surprise than not if Alex Lomax returned to Memphis for a variety of reasons. You know, obviously he's been dealing with injuries. He's been there 4 years now. And, you know, his career hasn't exactly gone according to, I think, a lot of people's expectations. And now you add Kendrick Davis to the mix. And, you know, you're talking about the prospect of, you know, this favorite son having to play second fiddle to a guy that's been brought in, you know, sort of I don't know if this is I don't know if this is the way that a lot of Memphis fans are going to look at it, but, you know, let's face it, Kendrick Davis is kind of a hired gun here, in a manner of speaking, because he's here for one season. Like, he's been other places for the bulk of his career, and now he's coming in here for a few months to really elevate the point guard position at Memphis. You know, like again, this is not something that should come as a surprise to anyone. But all that being said, nothing is done. Nothing at all is done here. Alex is still recovering from off-season ankle surgery, and you know, like, if things don't pan out, if he doesn't get the feedback that he's looking for, the offer that he wants, well, then you could do a lot worse than coming back and being the backup point guard at your hometown school.
So wait. Are you saying that's still a possibility if you were not to get any kind of really substantial offer from overseas?
Oh yeah. Nothing's done here. Nothing's done. Like I mean, like, look at it. Penny has room for Alex Lomax if he wants to, you know, if he decides he wants to come back. I don't think anything is done yet, by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, again, he hasn't, you know, worked out for anybody. He hasn't, you know, been able to do anything basketball wise, really. You know, and I know he's been at the practice facility, you know, like, watching everyone, and I know he's been rehabbing, but he hasn't, like, actually done basketball activities since the end of the season. So, like, you know, I don't know that any pro team is going to pay someone or commit to pay someone until they know what they're getting.
Right.
And, like, let's say that Alex's rehab slows down or he has a setback or something like that. You know, like, again, I don't know if anybody's going to commit money to someone who is not ready to roll. And so therefore, you know, I can't imagine Penny would say, no, you can't come back, to someone like Alex Lomax, especially. So no, I don't think that there's anything, done about this, but all that said, plan A for a long time has been for Alex Lomax to move on.
Well, that opens up the door for a guy like Jonathan Lawson. And,
right,
you know, we keep going back to him. He's like the unknown quotient here, because I you know, it happens a lot when guys aren't playing, how they are perceived to be the best one, right? So for years I have heard, oh, the guy Jonathan is the best of all of the Lawson brothers. Let me tell you something. If you're better than Dietrich, then you are really something else. That was a guy who was the MVP of a good competitive Conference USA. That was a good league back in those days. He was the number one player. He was an outstanding collegiate player, being a starter at Kansas. You saw that later in his career. That's how good he was. If Jonathan Lawson is equal to Dietrich, then the guy's going to play a ton.
Right. Yeah. Well, and he's so versatile. He can line up at any number of at least three positions, the 1, 2, or the 3. And yeah, I mean, that's another thing that's sort of complicating this. Like, what if, like, let's say Alex Lomax comes back to Memphis? Well, I mean, I guess because Jonathan is so versatile, it doesn't hamper him that much. But at the same time, then you kind of got a little bit of a logjam at point guard. And then, I understand that injuries happen and you can't, Alex Lomax had to play hurt for a lot of last season because he was really the only true point guard. You would have loved to have had another point guard or two on that team. So, but yeah, if Jonathan Lawson is ready, and if he is as good as advertised, as has been advertised, then yeah, it gets you're kind of set at point guard at that point because another factor here is Emmanuel Acott. I mean, he played point guard for Boise State. Like he didn't just sort of moonlight
right.
at point guard for Boise State. He was the point guard at Boise State. So yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, especially if Alex Lomax comes back.
Will Larry Brown be coming back at all? I'm pretty certain now, based on everything you're kind of hearing, that he's not going to be a full-time assistant. Is he coming back at all? What's the future of Sean Forrest?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be as an assistant for Larry Brown. I think that's pretty the writing's on the wall there. Penny's been alluding to it ever since April or May. I forget when we talked to him at the fire truck thing, but I mean, that's when he said it. He said he's coming back for right now as we sit here today in April or May. I believe he will be back. I don't know if it's going to be as an assistant. I think that was his way of sort of just sort of putting that on everyone's radar, so it's not a huge surprise when that happens. I talked to Larry myself for a good almost an hour, maybe a week and a half ago, and just the way he talked about the situation. He said that it was very the way he was thinking about the next season had a lot to do with what Penny did from a hiring standpoint. He lost Cody Topper. Obviously, he'd lost Rasheed Wallace, and his own status, Larry Brown's status, was up in the air. So he wanted to see how Penny was going to address that. He goes out and he gets Frank Haith. He goes out and he gets Faraji Phillips. And I mean, Larry was very he didn't gush, I wouldn't say, but he really, really is a big fan of Frank Haith. Mm-hmm. And I think that the way Penny went out and got those guys, I think that gives Larry a sense of I don't have to there's no pressure on him to feel like he has to come back as an assistant. I think, but he also made it very clear that he is, and he has said this always, even from the time he got here last year, that he's not good at not having things to do, and so I think ultimately he will be back. Who fills that third assistant spot? It could very well be Sean Forrest. It could also be Jermaine Johnson. But that remains to be seen.
Hey, Penny's a guy who waits till the end. Last year, at this time. There was no Amani Bates. There was no Jalen Duren. There was no Rasheed Wallace. So you got to sit back and wait and see. And who knows? Somebody might reclassify for all we know and end
Very
up
true.
coming here as a player. Last thing, you mentioned hired gun, referring to Kendrick Davis. Well, that's the way it's going to be from now on. And your
Yeah, for
cohort
sure.
at the Commercial Appeal, Mark Giannotto, I thought wrote a very interesting article pertaining to the NIL. And had it been here years ago, how much different Memphis's whole trajectory might have gone. For instance, would Adonis Thomas have stayed? If Adonis Thomas had stayed, would Tarek Black have stayed instead of going on to Kansas? And Adonis was looking for money. He was getting pushed by his family to go make some money, made a mistake in terms of getting drafted in the NBA, but ended up a longtime pro overseas and still could play for some time. I found it interesting, and I think this is the new wave where you can make the case. It will help college athletics. You know, we view NIL sometimes with a raised eyebrow because it does not have any rules or regulations at the moment, and the transfer portal sort of the same way. But if you think about it, it can keep stars like Kendrick Davis in college athletics.
Yeah, it's really a fascinating prism to look at, both to look at history and how different things might have been had NIL been a thing before it became a thing. And it's also from the same, at the same time, it's also fascinating to sort of watch it unfold and project, toward the future and kind of say, look at how things will be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, as NIL evolves and the whole landscape shifts. I mean, because I don't think that we are done evolving.
Yeah, I agree.
This NIL stuff. But now you bring up a very good point. NIL can keep guys, but at the same time, Memphis fans are all too familiar very recently that it can't also. Like there are times where it won't help. Case in point, Lester Quinones. He was making money. Like
right.
he was appearing at clothing shops and hawking his
line,
clothing line. Yeah, like his T-shirts and his shorts and all that stuff. And like he was, doing some other things. Like I'll tell you this, Lester Quinones was on the verge of signing a deal. I never reported this because it never got to the finish line, but now that he's gone, I can talk about it. He was on the verge of signing a deal with Wing Guru, with becoming Wing Guru's second. Calvin Austin was the first, obviously,
right.
Local guy to sign with Wing Guru, but Lester Quinones was supposed to be number two, and they were going to – it's kind of a funny story. Like they were going to create this marketing campaign around their chicken thighs. Given Lester's.
Yeah. And I love Billy Richmond, and with all respect to Billy, I don't think that deal would have equaled what he's going to be as a two-way guy in the NBA.
No, for sure. But at the same time, it doesn't work out for some people. Like it does. It's not enough to convince some guys to stay in college.
And I got to believe that Lester knew the Warriors were really interested in him in that regard. So
for sure.
Otherwise, I think he would have been a Billy Richmond spokesman. That would have been terrific. Jason, we are late. We got to run. Thank you much. We'll do this again next Friday.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
That is Jason Munz, Commercial Appeal beat writer, brought to you in part. I mentioned already Grind City Brewing, which you can get at the wonderful folks at the Spirit Shop at Poplar and St. Nick. But this is Grind City's best, in my estimation. And I love Tiger Tail. That's their other. But I love Poppy's Pills. What the doctor ordered, that is the Pilsner that is light, crisp, and refreshing. It is perfect on a hot summer day, best enjoyed ice cold. You know it's made right here in Memphis. You can get it in 6 packs or 15 packs. And you can buy it everywhere around town. It really is refreshing. When it's hot outside, there's nothing like what the doctor ordered. The Pilsner from Grind City, Poppy's Hills. We take a break. When we come back, to Chicago we go. Our agent from Priority Sports is Andy Schiffman, and he's next.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. Have you been turned down by your homeowner's insurance in the past 12 months for damage you believe you're owed? Call Brian Elder Roofing now. Our professionals will do a no-obligation, thorough evaluation of your property and document all damage we find. Our fully certified Hague inspectors are trained to identify storm damage to assess and build a full estimate in a language your carrier will understand. If there is no damage found, we will tell you just that. We build a data file of your actual storm damage for your carrier, all at no cost to you, free. So call now for your comprehensive roof guarantee from Brian Elder Roofing. Call us. 867-0303. That's 867-0303. Or schedule online at brianelderroofing.com. Because if you think it's a claim, we'll help you show it's a claim.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's the Make This the Summer event, and it's going strong at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. And we're ready and waiting to put you in a new ride today. Can't find the vehicle you've been dreaming about? No worries, Gossett has the solution. Stop the searching. Get to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat and we'll order your perfect vehicle just for you at no extra charge. Your color, your extras, your perfect vehicle. Gossett will and can order that vehicle just for you. Won't take long, won't break the bank, won't make you wait for hours. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, and you won't be paying for market adjustments or added costs you can't even figure out. You will not pay more than MSRP for your new Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, or Fiat. So get to Gossett today and let us put you in the ride of your dreams. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Fiat, or shop online GossettMotorcars.net.
All pricing includes all rebates and incentives, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/1/2022. Dealer stock only.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boost on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with the promo code HAPPY so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code HAPPY. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We get this on the AutoZone text line at 360-8255. Most 100-degree days in Memphis in a year. Because we were talking about for the next 5 days, right? 100 degrees. 1980, the most with 33. 1954, second with 26. 1952 and now 2022 tied at 16. So are there 17 more days that you can get it to tie that? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But crazy, that kind of streak we're on. We're going to Chicago where I think it's a little bit cooler, but not incredibly cool in a second. And our friend Andy Schiffman, brought to you in part by Sheldon. If you're thinking of you're selling a house, I want to push you in the direction of the worst golfer in town. And that's Sheldon Rosenberg. They call him Mr. Three-Putt, or Sheldon's lost his ball again. It's because he doesn't practice. Now, he loves golf. He loves playing Miramichi, by the way. But he's not any good because he's spending all his time on his strategic marketing program and selling your house for more dollars than anybody else will. He's with Sheldon Rosengarten, and he's a guy that spends more time selling homes and making his clients money than out on the golf course. So if you want to move your house, please call him, 483-0546, or head on over to MemphisRelocate.com. We relocate to Chicago, Illinois. I saw you're hot there, too, on Lake Michigan.
Very hot, Dave. I'm not a fan, although it is still probably cooler than where you are, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, so last week you were in Las Vegas. You saw the Memphis Summer League team, saw them all. What was your impressions of first of all this draft class and the other guys, like a guy like Tillman in his third year he was playing in the Summer League. Is the Summer League a telltale tool for teams?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's what I thought.
A lot of players think that. They think if they have success in Summer League, that means they're going to be set up for success during the NBA season and vice versa. And that's just not the case at all. It's glorified AAU basketball. There's really not a whole lot of structure. The rookies, the new draft picks for each team, and the young players on each team's roster, like Santi Aldama, who played, and Xavier Tillman, those guys have the ball in their hands every possession and get the majority of the sets run for them. And all the other players out there generally are trying to carve out a role for themselves and earn a spot in training camp. So they basically want to prove that they can score and shoot the ball 20 times. And it's a bit frustrating to watch as a basketball purist, just because it's not real, true basketball. You see a lot of high-scoring games, even though the quarters are, decreased minutes, 10-minute quarters. Every player gets 10 fouls. So I say all that. It's not really indicative. It's more of teams getting to develop and just evaluate their new players. And, of course, look at free agents. I had many playing in Summer League and evaluate those guys for training camp, for a roster spot, for a two-way contract.
If you're Zach Kleiman and you got players on this team, do you think what Santi Aldama did, or Zaire Williams for that matter, with the experiment of being an on-ball guard, do you think you learn enough? For instance, I've heard people go, let's see, with Triple J out at the beginning of the year, is Brandon Clark just going to move over there, or would you give Santi Aldama, based on Summer League, a big shot at it?
Well, look, I don't think you jump to that conclusion, as much as I would love to be wrong because I represent Santi. I don't think you can jump to that conclusion based on his performance in Summer League.
Well, you actually represent both of them, don't you?
Yeah, Brandon and Santi, right. But I will say this, and I talked to Zach a lot about this in Vegas. Santi's performance, he made all Summer League second team. He had that one big game of 31 points. He moved so much better. Here's the thing, let's back up. If you remember watching Santi as the Grizzlies' first-round draft pick last year in Summer League, I remember scrolling through Twitter and saw all the negative comments about Santi because, A, no one knew who he was. B, literally 24 hours before, he flew in from Spain. So he gets off the plane, joins an NBA team, surrounded by players he never even played with before, and just looked like a fish out of the water. I'll be the first to say that. And to look at what he did this summer is very encouraging. It is great for Santi's confidence. So now, again, can you jump to the conclusion and say, hey, we feel so good about Santi as a backstop while Triple J is out, we can plug him in at the 5, 5, 4, however you want to play, depending if you're going small or big? Probably not, but I think what it does is it does give Taylor and the coaching staff and Zach a lot more confidence and trust and optimism heading into training camp, to where now you say, Santi, let's get to work in August, get to work in September, heading into training camp, build on your Summer League performance, and continue to prove that you're a part of this rotation throughout training camp. And then when you get to the start of the season, then if you're Taylor, you can say, hey, I feel so confident about Santi that he can step in and provide rotational minutes while Jaren is out. Or if we need to slide Brandon up a little bit and play the two together, whatever you want to do, I think it's a step in the right direction for Santi to earn rotational minutes. So it is very encouraging.
What about the Zaire Williams experiment?
Look, I think if you're going to experiment, as they did with Zaire, positionally and playing him on the ball, playing him off the ball, figuring out what works best for the rotation for Zaire's development overall, Summer League's the time to do it. So I think he did pretty well. As you could see in the games, I don't really think they said, Zaire, we need you to go out there and you're going to be our primary scorer. I think, like you said, it was really just using him in a different way. So, I mean, I really didn't gather a whole lot of definitive conclusions from watching that and how they used Zaire in Summer League. I think he could definitely be a combo guard. You could use him in a multitude of ways with his ability. But again, just develop that now. Just like I said, bring him in the gym in August and September. Continue to play him both guard spots, see where he's most comfortable, and then capitalize off of that heading into training camp. So it's just too early to say exactly where he'll be in terms of being on the ball or off the ball, I think.
Next week, we'll talk some free agency and who won in all of that. Of course, it's not over yet, so we'll get into that. Andy?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. It's supposed to cool down after the weekend in Chicago. Enjoy. It's not going to cool down much here.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. That's Andy Schiffman. He's brought to you in part by the Eflin Insurance Team. You know, Andy was once a part of the Tiger team working on John Calipari's staff, and it's a team with the Eflin Insurance Group. It really is. It's collaboration. They get to know you. You'll sit down with Matt, or you'll sit down with Grant or Andrew or Heath, and they get to know you. They really do. They know what's important to you, what's important to protect, and how much money you've got, and then he builds the perfect program for you, whether that's home or auto or life insurance. Once he gets to know you, knows your priorities and your budget, he sets you up and protects you. Same thing, businesses, commercial business. You got a small to mid-sized business, he's going to find out about what you forecast out, what is most important to protect, and then what your budget is, and he's got access to unlimited programs to protect you in the right way. All you got to do is call 386-GUR. He's a big Tiger guy. 901-386-4777, the Eflin Insurance Team. Have a great weekend, everybody. Johnny Radio's next.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer, Skelton,